I push the buttons. We have the signal, a little flickery this time around, and it may be because we're having a lot of, well, it's still getting its act together here. So can't guarantee the quality, but we're going to try for it because I'm seeing some flickerage on the bottom of the screen right under here. But it appears to have cleared up. So excellent. Hi, folks. Once again, this is the Troubadork non-commute show. I am Tobias the Adequate. This is my house at an undisclosed location in San Antonio, Texas. Which some of you know. So it's only undisclosed kind of generally. And I'm tuning because I like y'all. This show's going to have some new stuff. And it's going to have some old stuff. And it's going to have some stuff that's going to be new to y'all, but old to me. And my lovely wife is relaxing after a long day of dealing with what she has to do with. Hey, Kay. Kay is waving. Hi, Kay.
Hi, Kay.
All right. This is my new chair, by the way. The new chair is, I gotta lean this way. This is the new chair because I'm going to be here for at least 2 more weeks. So, because we are quarantined. I'm hearing a cat struggling with something.
No, you're hearing cat scratching and tearing up a cardboard.
Cardboard. Now with feline accompaniment on the cardboard scratcher. Wait, let's do this. Move the microphone closer. I bet the sound quality will improve. I bet it just did. All right. Well, we've only been farting around for 1:49, so I think we're doing well so far. There is an overwhelming theme to this one, which is fairs and festivals, because we have a number of folks who are currently having to deal with they're out of work. They're currently dealing with their fair or their festival being basically sucked out from under them. I would strongly recommend that you go check out a number of pages on Facebook. One of which is Consolation 2020, which is the canceled con for all canceled cons. They have a dealer's room. There is several Renaissance Fair web pages. Fair Relief 2020, thank you, Amy, which has links to vendors who now are chock full of inventory and would really like to not be. If you've already budgeted money to go to these events and they're not happening, you might as well check them out online, because that way they'll come back and be able to come back when this whole thing gets cleared up. My thumbnail's catching on the string. Do you know my friend from Fair? Do you know my friend from Fair? He's 4 foot taller, and he's got brown or sandy hair. And he has a hat and tankard, and he wears these great big boots. And he wanders around in a loincloth or one of them doublet suits. He stands out in the crowd. Do you know my friend from Fair? Do you know my friend from Fair? He's a unique individual, no one else can compare. Wow, where did that chord come from? For he always sings or juggles as he goes about the town, and he always has a great big sword that ought to narrow it down. He's distinctive. Do you know my friend from Fair? Do you know my friend from Fair? If you saw him coming down the lane, you'd have to stop and stare, for he always... You ever have one of those moments where you're just thinking about what you're going to sing and you just kind of like hit the brick wall and go, I'm not sure what I was about to sing there. Where was I? Oh, yes. My show, the mistakes are part of the show. It's like a juggler. Have you noticed that jugglers are the only performers that can screw up and people consider it to be part of the show? Ponder that. Do you know my friend from Fair? Do you know my friend from Fair? He's a young individual, no one else can compare. Don't recall if it's pickles, pretzels, or if it's popcorn that he sells. But you can hear him come from a mile away on account that he wears bells. What goes jingle, bang, jingle, bang, jingle, bang, jingle? Morris dancer in a minefield. Do you know my friend from Fair? Do you know my friend from Fair? He's the coolest guy in all the world, I truly do declare. If you saw my friend in person, then you'd know of whom I speak. For dresses like a pirate, now isn't that unique? Pirate with pointy ears. Elf pirate. And gossamer wings. Fairy elf pirate. And kilt. Scottish fairy elf pirate. Horns. Demon Scottish fairy elf pirate. And a foxtail. Nobody knows why. Do you know my friend from Fair? I think I saw him over there. His name is Wolf or Hawk or Raven, or I think it might be Bear. Well, we've never met outside of Fair, but I'm sure he'll be along. Hey, wait a minute. I'm talking about you. I guess I'll end this song. All right, so that's Friend from Fair, played faster than normal and catching my thumbnails on the strings. I am playing Payback once again. Payback, made by Michael Van Slyke of Michael Van Slyke's very own Archangel Studios. That's award-winning cigar box guitar and ukulele maker Michael Van Slyke of Archangel Arts. One day he'll tell me to stop doing this, but not now. He's probably watching. He's got a big screen TV, one of the old school, like, on his monitors. And so the idea of me being that large in his living room is just a little daunting. But I am flattered by it. Kay would like to bring up that there's also Digital Ren Fair and www.renaissance as well. Those are both Facebook groups, so go check them out so that you can give some patronage to the fairs, festivals, vendors, and performers that you want to see when this whole thing clears up. Speaking of clearing up, the Scarborough Renaissance Festival, which was my home fair for 6 glorious years, is having a delayed open. They're pushing until the first weekend of May. They're going to open the first weekend of May and run through the first weekend in June. So it's not the Baton Death March 3-month fair of old. And if you remember having a fair out in Waxahachie in June, in the middle of June, in the summer, you might be as old as I am, possibly older. This song I have had for over 2 decades. I wrote it, the lyrics to it at least, because it's a filk. So the music came prepackaged. I wrote this back in my days as a Sea Dog because there was a thing called the night show, which is where everyone would get together and perform a big, just blowing off steam, having fun show when all the customers have gone home. And we would sing spoofs on various things. And I wrote this song, and I was told that they weren't going to do it because it had already been done. But I asked a bunch of people who weren't in authority figure positions if it had, and they said no. So I think it's already been done is a lot like It's Not Period, which is kind of just a blanket reason for not liking a thing. I'm not bitter. I'm just amused at this point. All right. I played that a little faster than normal because I'm kind of caffeinated. So let's see if we can give this one the correct tempo here. Can't face another drunk with an axe. Parade is coming and I can't relax. Can't sleep, tent's not up. Dirt and Gatorade are in my cup now. Psycho patron, God give you good day. Huzzah, better make way, get gentles, make way. Heed what I say, psycho patron, God give you good day. Huzzah, better make way, on improvisation. You can't even finish it. You're shouting a lot, but you're not really saying anything. When I have nothing to say, I'll improv in mine. If it's funny once, it'll be funny again. Psycho patron, God give you good day. Better make way, good gentles make way. Eat what I say, psycho patron, God give you good day. Better make way, get out of the way of the parade. Do you make that? You live here? Hey, are those real? Where's the beer? Posters say come out and play, and they drop $50 to walk around and stare all day. Oh yay, oh yay, oh yay, oh yay, oh yay, oh yay. We are hard and we are tired, and there's a million crazy people in this shire. Psycho turkey, God give you good day. Better make way, good gentles make way. Heed what I say, psycho turkey, God give you good day. Better make way, get out of the way of the parade. Accompanied by feline chaos behind me as Delilah and Domino figure out who's in charge. Delilah's the one in charge. Delilah's a 7-year-old cat. Domino is the just a little over 1-year-old cat who still acts like almost 2, but she acts like she's a 3-year-old basically, and is constantly like, play kamikaze crash. That Domino can basically be summed up like this: parkour. I don't know what went wrong. We love her. It's a damn good thing she's cute, which is another song I'm writing, and we'll get there eventually. Hi, how are you? I see more people are showing up. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the songs here. That was Psycho Turkey. Turkey, by the way, is a non-flattering term that old crusty Rennies use to describe a certain breed of patron. And we love them all. We really do. Without the patrons, this would just be a dress-up, sleepaway camp for grown-ups, and we know that. But there are some patrons that walk around bumping into things, asking questions like, do you live here? Are those real? Stuff like that. And those, in this case, could be anything from actual fire to physical attributes. So, Psycho Turkey has been in my head for many, many years, and it's the first time I think I've performed it in front of people, even if it's at a distance. Think we're distancing. I got 3D effect here. Whoa. I'm just screwing around with the camera because I can. Let's be honest. Let me see here. I got 2 more songs, and since I'm telling stories as well, I'm getting that. I'm going to tell a story about fair. Once upon a time, a long, long time ago, off in the mists of Marin County, off in the wit of Marin County, where I had to adopt a completely unjustifiable dialect. Off in Marin County, the original Renaissance Pleasure Fair Northern Edition would have rounders, which is a reasonably researched precursor to modern baseball. There were some differences because there were 5 bases laid out pretty much in the shape of a of home plate, weirdly enough. And you ran around them clockwise, and you could have a certain number of people on bases, a certain number of people out in the field. And the Sea Dogs made it a point of personal pride never to win a single rounders game. This became a challenge because there were other guilds that also made it a personal point of pride never to win a single rounders game. We had to find ways to lose in more creative ways to lose each game, including at one point where we had basically dragged the member of a different guild around the bases so that they would score on behalf of that team, which is another story which I will tell eventually, probably, because it's just darn weird. But we were out there, and it was my first year as a Sea Dog, and as with every guild or group, there's a lot of kind of in-jokes, running gags that have grown up over the years with each organization, and I was not aware of this one. We had our entire guild out there, which was like 23, 24 people in the field, and we were playing against the Puritans. And the California Fair Puritans are wonderful people. Oh dear God, they are epic comic villains, and it is a difficult job. It is hard to be a bad guy and still not be like punched in the face on a regular basis. So we're out there, and we're just kind of screwing around, because that's what we do as Sea Dogs, and the guild mistress of the Puritans glares down at me, and it's hard for her to glare down at me because she's shorter than I am, but somehow she managed it. She looked at me, "You have too many players on the field." And I looked around and said, "Well, how many are we?" And I said, without knowing that this was a thing, "Sea Dogs, count off!" And the entire guild in unison said, "1!" I looked at her and said, "We do need 11 more." And it's a good thing that angry glares could not kill people, because I would have been dead in the dirt, right there, on fire, immediately. It was an epic moment, and it was long before camera phones, so there was no actual recording of it, but it was just fun. Let me see if I can do a pretty one here. I met him at the fair. We spoke of where and when. Although he was not there, he comped me as a friend, which came as some surprise. My act never caught his eye. I thought he'd driven home a long, long time ago. Oh no, not me. Wow, me. I never change my clothes. We'll get it by the second chorus. Your face to face with the man who lives at fair. I laughed and shook his hand, made my friend's own flask, went back to my homeland. Then I knew what I should have asked. I gazed a gaze, I stare at all the folks at fair. We should have driven home a long, long time ago. Boating accident. Oh no, not me. We never change our clothes. Your face to face with the folks who live at fair. Oh no, not me. I never change my clothes. Your face to face with the man who lives at fair. Well, we've had our second official kayak incident, but that's okay. One of the things about doing these shows is this is me working through all the stuff in a relatively forgiving environment. You wonderful people out there who are tolerating my presence is okay. Okay. Kayak for your life! Or whatever remains of your dignity. Dignity, that burned away years ago, okay? Honestly, you've seen my costume. Decades. See, I have a witness. Decades ago. One more song this time around, and this is a brand new song. So the potential for this going horribly awry is astronomical. However, I have done a thing. I have written down, printed out the lyrics and the chords and put them right here where I might be able to do them. This is a song that I wrote when I realized that I was going to continue to be doing these kind of performances and wanted to have more stuff that was specific to specific venues. I wrote Possums in a Trench Coat, as you recall. I wrote that one for the Texas Furry Fiesta, and I'm also working on another song called I'm Dating a Werewolf, and you can hear a little bit of that if you go to my Patreon page, patreon.com/theadequate, and decide to help support adequacy in your lifetime. Don't feel you have to do that right now, especially if you are currently being furloughed or hiatused or whatever the hell it is for folks who are basically stuck at home because of this ridiculous COVID-19 thing, okay? But I am working on other songs. I really need to trim my nails. This one was written with the idea that sometime in August, there may very well be, August or September, in Sherwood, there may very well be the Sherwood Celtic Festival, which is a music festival, and I went out and I stage managed last year, and I had a certain amount of fun, and now that I have functional knees again, I might just be able to perform there. So we'll see if I can pull this off. This is the first time I ever do this in front of anybody that I'm not married to. I haven't even done it in front of you. Wow, we're all going to learn something tonight. I wanted to write an Irish song, a ballad of the bard. I'd never done the like before, but it couldn't be that hard. I said I'll compose an epic melody and sing sweet as the birds. But I was drunk when I wrote this, now I can't read the words. Fiddly-I-tie-tie, fiddly-I-tie-tie, or something along that line. We'll make it up as we go along, it'll all work out there's fine. Ahem. Now Irish music is a joy, a wonder of the age. I wanted to chip in and make some money off this rage. I wrote some lovely verses, boys, was harder than you'd think. Then I spilled my beer all over the page and it smudged all the ink. Fiddly-I-tie-tie, doo-wop-bop-bob, or something like that there. Nobody pays attention even at an Irish fair. I wrote my songs and took them out to a lovely Irish jam. Just sitting with these halfling folks made me happy as a clam. I played and laughed and clapped and drank, we merrily rolled along. But I drank too much before my turn and started all of my songs. Oh, don't arrest me, officer, I'll go if peacefully. I was ready for the big time, now I went to an event. I wasn't there about half an hour, me money was all spent. I got a slot up on the stage, was feeling mighty proud, but no one could hear the songs I sang, they were all too feckin' loud. Fiddly-I-tie-tie, fiddly-I-tie-tie, and other nonsense words. Just sing it loud and lively, that'll satisfy these nerds. Fiddly-I-tie-tie, fiddly-I-tie-tie, or something along that line. We'll make it up as we go along, it'll all work out just fine. Traditional Irish gibberish tune. Debuted here, and startlingly enough, played better than the songs I have been playing for a while, which I was fumbling all over. I guess it really does go to show that I seem to play my own crap better than I play other people's stuff, which is bizarre. Well, they say that a musician is someone who can play anybody's music well, and a singer-songwriter is someone who can play their own music well, and, well, that makes me a magician. thank you all so much for hanging out with me again. This will go out on my Facebook feed. And I'm also putting them up on YouTube under youtube.com/MPLEGARE at the Troubadork playlist. Troubadork. I already have the first show is actually marked as being completely unable to monetize it because a song sounds familiar to their algorithm, but it's the wrong song. I don't know. Life is like that. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Check out the Facebook pages for Consolation, CONCELLATION 2020. Check out the Digital Ren Fair, www.renaissance Facebook pages. Carpe Diem Comics, which is back online as a site, will be able to take mail order. And hit them up at Carpe Diem Comics on Facebook. They've got the nice long link for the wonderful store site, which I can't remember off the top of my head. And they are the official emotional support comic shop of Tobias the Adequate, the Troubadork Show, and the Adequate Podcast. There will be a new Adequate Podcast out this weekend. It'll be Pod B. We'll be talking about stuff like, busking and that B word that Irish and Scot people use to describe people who sing and tell stories, and I'm really nervous about using for myself, and some other stuff. And I will probably do another one of these tomorrow because it's still Friday and it's still my commute. I should be home by now. I hope you're home by now. And if you're not home by now, make sure that you get home safe. Because without you people, I am literally doing this weirdness directly into that camera, and it just goes out into the ether, and no one knows. So thank you for being there to witness this weirdness. Y'all are fantastic. Take care of yourselves, okay? See you next time.